What is up, everybody? It's Jonathan here from Enigma Photos, and today I am going to do a class on a day to night time lapse that I took of Washington, D.C. As you can see, the Capitol building, the gorgeous Capitol building up there in the window. Um, it was when I was up there doing some work for Sony, shooting some time lapses for their HDR TVs and such, and they sent me with a wonderful kit. So on this one, it was the Sony A7rii and the 16 to 35 f4. Funny thing, the 2.8 came out when I was there. Would have loved to try that lens out, but it was a little bit premature to do so. So hopefully I'll get to try that out soon. This is a good lens. It did exactly what I needed to do. Take really good footage, sharp. It'll look good on the TVs once they render it out. So it'll be nice. I also use the Sony app that you can get in the Play Store for Sony cameras like the A7S2, A7R, RXR1 II. Unfortunately, my biggest bug on the A99 II, which I had, is that you can't put the apps on there, which is fine because you can always get an external intervalometer. But it's kind of cool with the A7R2 being able to do it all in camera and not having the external intervalometer. When I travel, I have so many wires and doodads and things like that. Sometimes it makes it easier, even just if I don't have one extra thing to take with me. But that's neither here nor there. That's not a big deal. But I do think it's cool that they have a really good app that you can download. I think it's $10, and it works really well. You can, for this scene, I had it on sunset mode, but you can actually put in whatever you want to, and it works extremely well. It's what I use on, I would say, 99% of my time lapses. Every once in a while, I want to do a holy grail where I control it myself because A, it's a lot of fun, and B, you get to control kind of like the control it from day to night. You can do it the way you want it to look. So you've got a lot more artistic ability with the Holy Grail. But sometimes, like for example, in this scene, while I was pointing the A7R2 toward the Capitol, in the opposite direction, I had the RXR1 II doing what's directly behind this, which is the National Monument, the park, and all that kind of thing. So sometimes you'll be filming two things at once, and it's very hard to do a Holy Grail because you want to make sure that both cameras are working correctly, they've got enough battery power, all that kind of stuff. So it makes it more convenient. So this is a really cool day to night here. Capitol building, I love it. It's one of my favorite buildings in the world. And I'm going to go ahead and play this, and you can see the beautiful sun. We've got clouds, people walking, all sorts of movement. The cars going across. So it looks really nice. It's a good clip. Yeah, love this clip. So the first thing I'll do here in LR time lapse is I will make keyframes. And since I already set them up, we're going to say no. I did 5. Reason being is I want control as the sun goes down because color temperature changes. I don't want the same color temperature from the beginning to the end because it goes from like 53 to 47, somewhere along there. So it's going to look really weird if you have the same color temperature without. It's not going to look natural. So that's why I have it set up that way. So I'll go ahead and save it and then drag it, like always, to Lightroom. Ooh, beautiful Colorado. We'll work on that clip sometime soon. Got a lot of really cool clips from Colorado. Was there the past, what was it, 2 weeks ago? With my little one. Well, he's not little anymore, he's 13. I'm getting old, but we had a really good father-son trip. And he got to see the Milky Way for the first time, visibly. Like, it's down here in Texas where I am, there's so much light pollution, you just really can't look into the sky and see the structure of it. But he was very happy to finally be able to see it with his naked eye. So, all right, so we're bringing in all these pictures now, importing the files. The most important ones are the keyframes. So I'm actually going to have them the only thing showing up because that's the great thing about LR time lapse. It will take the rest of the pictures and blend them together by just doing these 5 keyframes. So wait for it to finish importing, and it's almost done. And as always, the first thing I like to do is stop it from building previews, because we don't really need that. It's going to suck up some of our resources, and I don't want to do that right now. Second thing I do, I'll go in, I'll select them all, and I will go back to library mode for a sec and put default settings. It just gives me a flatter picture. When it's the other way around, it tends to kind of, I don't know, I don't like the colors with it. I don't know why Lightroom does that. I wish it would just automatically keep it in default mode. Make me much happier. All right, so I'll go into the develop on the first picture, make sure it's the only one that's selected. And the first thing I generally do is go down and do remove chromatic aberration and enable lens corrections. And there we go. I will go up and I will put in 16.9 aspect ratio. That's what our beautiful TVs are. And I'll get the crop. Most importantly, I want to go right above here because I don't want those to be seen. But I still want part of the road and the cars to be seen. So I'll set my crop. Then I will go up to copy. And the only thing that I want selected is lens corrections and crop. So I hit copy, and then I will paste it on the rest of the images. So everything's uniform. One last one. There we go. So we've got our individual images all set up, and now I can get in there and start making them look pretty. So the first thing I'll do is color temperature, and I'll bring it down a little bit. Right there, it's a little too warm right there. So I'll bring it just a little bit too warm. What I try to do is, as I'm taking these, look around the scene and see what the colors look like. And I like things to be natural, and that's the color of the Capitol building. That's what it looks like. It's a beautiful building. It's creamy, and I just want every time lapse that I shoot to look as much like it did when seeing it. So now we'll mess with the highlights a little bit. The highlights look pretty good. I'm not going to bring them down all that much. And then I will boost the shadows to bring in, because I want to see all of this, the people. Throughout the thing, you want to see the movement of the people. So I might bring it to about 100%. And then my little trick with the whites, see I hit Alt Option, and then I will push it until right there it's telling me that it's overexposed. Well, I don't want it to be overexposed, so I'll bring it back just a little bit. Other thing you have to watch for too here is this awesome little reflection there, and I don't want that to be too overexposed. So that looks good. It brought out a lot of detail. It looks nice. You can do the same thing with blacks, but I tend to like seeing them myself, so I'll bring it down to about -21. Clarity, I'll put it on 20, and that looks nice, nice and crisp. And vibrance, I'll start at about 25, but then I will bring it back. It's better for me and my eye to see it a little bit, and then I'll bring it back, not to -3 though. See, I'll push it just a little bit like there. That looks nice to me. Highlights, usually around 20 is where I go. It just gives a little bit more pop. And then shadows, let's try around a -4. And boom. That looks good to me. Looks about right. So then I'll go to the next one. And because you have to think, it's about the golden hour. So I do want this to be a little bit golden, but not this golden. More around there. Looks nice to me. And I'll go in and do the same adjustments that I did on everything else. We lost our clouds a little bit, but I'm going to bring highlights down just a little bit and then bring those shadows back into play. And that looks about right because that sun is that golden color. It's real pretty. So let me bring this back about 100 right there. And then same thing with whites. Now as you can see, it's almost there. But I'm going to push it just a little bit. And there we go. It's a nice pop to it. It looks really nice. Same thing with blacks. Just bring it down just a little bit to give more contrast. And 20 here. And let's see. Pardon me, phone just rang. And then I'll bump this about right there, about +7. Don't want to push it too much. I put this around 20. And put this around -4. And that picture looks really good. I like that. So compared to the first one, and then the second one, that's looking really awesome. All right, so let's go to the third one. See the sun's slowly but surely disappearing on us. I'm going to bring that white balance down a little bit. So I want that sky nice and blue. There we go. And then highlights, I'm going to bring them in a little bit because I want the detail of the clouds because the clouds look spectacular. Shadows, push them about there, looking nice. Whites, see how far we can go. We should be able to go pretty far. There we go. And that looks super nice. And let's do the blacks. A little bit in, clarity at 20. And then since we haven't boosted it that much, I'm just going to boost it just a little bit, about right there. I love the gold reflection off the windows. It looks really, really good. And then put this at 20. And I think I might just drop it just a little bit, but I don't want to do too much. Right there. That looks nice. So there we go. So we got first, good, second, and then third. That looks really good. Okay. Now on to the fourth one. It's kind of funny. Doesn't look like, sometimes Lightroom does this, so let's paste again to get that look right. And let's bring down color temperature. About there. And then bring down highlights a little bit. Boost the shadows again. There. And then do the whites. That looks nice. I love that gold reflection up there. Bring down the blacks a little bit. That clarity of 20. And then let's push this a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't want this sky to get too blue. Go 20. Here. And let's see. Shadows down a little bit. And that one's good. Now, the dark picture. I always like dark pictures because you can play with color temperature a little bit. Sometimes it looks good warm, but to maintain everything, what I love about the Capitol building is the dome up here should be lit up and it should be an ivory color. That's what I remember because I also did another thing with it and it has a beautiful ivory color. Usually when we get to a dark scene like this, instead of going back with the highlights, if the lights aren't too overexposed, I'll actually push them just a little bit. And then same thing with shadows. There we go. To bring out all the detail here. And then I'm very careful with the whites because if I boost whites, it can, overexpose it way too much, and we don't want to do that. So I'll be cognizant of this area in here and just push it a little bit more. That looks good. And then usually when it's this dark, I don't mess with the blacks because I don't want it to darken it any, which it will. So we'll put 20 here, and then we'll boost this just a little bit. There we go, not that much, about there. And then 20 here. And I'm not gonna mess with shadows because I want it to be about there. So now we've got all these 5 keyframes looking really, really good. I will go back to thumbnail view and save metadata file. And now that I've done that, I can go back into LR time lapse, hit reload, which will bring in those 5 keyframes, and then it will set it up to be ready to make it look awesome for us. Save it, and now I'm going to let it run the visual preview. And that's where I'm going to pause the video so we can check out what it looks like, what we've done, the changes, and how it's going to output it. And I will be right back and we'll see what it looks like. All right, welcome back everybody. Now you can see that I've gone ahead and let LR time lapse go through the clip and blend those pictures that we had in Lightroom together. Open it up here. The keyframes that we worked on before. So let's check out and see what it looks like. And I cheated. I looked at it before I started recording again, and it actually looks really, really good. You can see how everything blends together because we pushed those shadows. You can see all the people walking in front of the Capitol, and then the change, and it goes from day to night in a very natural and beautiful way. So as before in every other video that you've seen, we're going to go ahead and do the visual deflicker because as you can see, the curved lines are still really jagged. Exposure. Pardon me, misspoke. It's still really jagged, and that's what LR time lapse is really good at evening that out for us. So that's what we're going to do right now, and it'll just make it pretty, no flicker, and it'll be a really good looking scene. So I'm going to go ahead and pump this up to 40 because of all the jaggedness that we have, and I'm going to let it do its thing, and then when I'm done, we'll check out and see how well it worked. All right, and we're back, and LR time lapse has done the most beautiful thing. It has made this footage completely sexy, and it's done that by, as you can see, making the line completely flat with a curve because it's getting darker. That's what exposure does. So it looks really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and play this so you can check it out on the small screen, and like always in my videos, at the end, you will see the final clip. Now I'm going to go make videos on some really cool stuff that I shot in Washington, D.C. and New York City. So stay tuned. I hope you guys have a great day, great weekend, or whatever the hell you're doing. And I will talk to you soon.